Hey, what up, y'all? What up? It's August, what is it, 4th, 2019. It is 5:14 p.m. A couple of things just happened. I figured I'd do a little video on it. I walked down to a friend's house, and I'll explain that later how that works out. It's a family acquaintance. There's been past problems way in the past with the person, but I got a ride from him to go up to the store. Gave him $3 in gas, $5 for a Red Bull. So that's $8 for the ride. Don't know if he's a part of it because there's been some things that's been associated with himself, and that's why I said basically a partially toxic family associate family member. Anyways, we get to this Krogers, which is here in Columbus, Ohio, 150 West Sycamore. And the store, there's a little burbulation in the store. I'm not even worried about it because he walked in with me and stuff like that. And it wasn't that I wasn't worried about it, but I just let it go. I mumbled off some things myself. Anyways, I go to checkout with other things, the background noise of people talking shit. Go to the checkout counter, and he actually selects the checkout lane. He stops. So I figured, hey, he was in a rush to a point too. He had something else to do. We go through line. We're checking out. There's a little bit of strangeness. I go to swipe one of my cards because I'm using two different cards, and I go to swipe one of my cards, and I get a card error read. Maybe swipe again, and I thought it clipped my card, like as far as scratched it. Well, I swiped it the second time, and I know it scratched it because it took off the plastic in the front a little bit and scratched the black strip in the back while somebody's there giggling. So the card goes through checkout, and they're acting funny and all kinds of shit, hey, like trying to insinuate without completely verbally saying, hey, your card's messed up. Yeah, what up? What you doing? Kind of like an insinuation of degradation of, hey, bitch, you ain't shit. Organized crime or intelligence, gangland, 1 minute, just organized, intelligible socialism. Anyway, so I go to walk out the front door, and someone farts up at the front door, and you can smell it. And that's just another thing walking out. It adds up that something, while trying to put together something's not right, even though it's not completely either A, in front of my face being verbally communicated, even though in the background it kind of maybe was, or something got me to think or understand, they're in there like, ha, we just dicked you type of situation. Screwed you over. Sorry about that. Or we just screwed you, messed up your card, because if the card doesn't work elsewhere, or I go back to get groceries and I'm hungry, and I have to have that replaced, I don't know how long it'll take, even if it's 2 days to replace. That's 2 days with me without food, or whatever I need. So, yeah, problems 150 West Sycamore Krogers, much less completely all Columbus organized intelligence, including law enforcement, gangland shit, them trying to punk shit. It's all wrapped up, which was wrapped up in New York City. These guys are in here. They're having gangsters, literal street gangsters, dope addicts, whatever they can accumulate, basically socially attack me. Which, in New York City, Department of Justice, there's a Scientific Behavioral Research Bureau that had stepped out way in the past. It's been many, many years ago. Anyways. With that being said, the employment and tactics of that may be under investigation. Somebody trying to interfere with my finances, profile me in public, and then make it out, nah, this is okay, this is this, and this is that. When, I'm going to explain again, when I was at the mental health facility, I asked specifically, am I an independent for myself? Am I under state care, this, that, anything else? The rights to make choices, even the rights to have sex, have kids, all that. It was severe. I let them know these guys are acting severely. Like they're stripping me of my rights of having independency. Basically, and it's understood, mental retardation or so severe capacitation. I explained to the mental health system, which you can't completely trust, but the little bit of trust that I did get and the support was pretty damn supportive, even though they violated shit too. So that's the type of situation. It wasn't complete trustworthy as far as their facility and their people. But anyways, that understanding my situation is severe, someone's trying to enforce my rights are stripped, even down to personal life affairs. You're mentally retarded, we have a right to control you. It's not on paperwork. I asked the facility straight ass up, even though I'm incapacitated and getting worse, do they have a legal right any which way to enforce this? No. Law enforcement is helping, trying to back their shit. What are you going to do with us if what we say goes? And even back then, there's something called a pink slip here in Columbus, Ohio. It's a mental health note. If they feel somebody isn't right, they fill it out and they take them into the hospital. And they tried to utilize that tactfully, and the facility said they're looking into it. And they're going to find out, because it should have been in my paperwork how things work. Someone influencing that I'm under a certain amount of restraint that I'm not. Utilizing, well, he has a mental health diagnosis, so he's underneath that strain anyways. We all have a right to do it. And it is not correct at all, because I specifically ask about it there. What happens after what's going on here and what's going on. And even they said, even with the diagnosis, it's a misdiagnosis because of perjury and lies are going through that. But anyways, another attack, another day. Another targeted individual situation. Not only trying to utilize, and there's government involved, bunch of people with excessive power, and even the facility themselves said, the people, and the way, not even we understand, and this is the truth, we're taking your word for it, the people that are attacking you are not utilizing normalized, per se, communal, normalized people shit. They're in there educating themselves and intentionally to sabotage. They're intentionally trying to make themselves intelligent with mental health, laws, everything else, to systematically sabotage, systematically assault. It's above average intelligence and enforcement, the things that they're trying to deal with, which is in favor for yourself, because with that being proven, means they're causing duress that they should not be. Police have gotten in trouble for the same thing, utilizing that duress and making it out as if it is okay, and it's not. The whole county here, it's not even just the city, even though it's been pointed out, they're trying to make it out what kind of strain, and the city is a major part of it, but it's also Franklin County, and corruption. You take advantage of somebody, they're incapacitated, you have a ruling over them, you fraud that ruling, you mishandle it so you can make a better paycheck, you can make a better, even if it isn't money, you can make a better situation for yourself, no matter what it is. Respect, value, entertain yourself with it, feel like you're bossy with it, whatever it be, which was discussed at this facility. Fraud, coercion, corruption, everything and above, and that's what they've been doing. Prove it. Here, I've called the police, they don't help out. I called the FBI, they don't deal with it, period, across the United States in one way, even though I'm saying the FBI, police, all of it, just like as in the past, are in here personally, directly attacking me. If not just attacking, associating with the attacks, or not noticing or giving the support that they are more or less mandatorily to give. Anyhow, making phone calls to them, the whole system here, Franklin County, nothing comparable to like New York City, and nothing comparable to everything else. And I've said this time after time in all my videos, even over the last 20 years, have not ever stepped up to offer the same amount of help, especially in the time length that this situation has went on, as any place else in the United States that I've been. I've said in every other video that I've had and that I mentioned this situation, everybody in those other states are saying it's coming. The roots of the targeting, or at least the organized intelligence and attacking, is coming from Columbus, Ohio, including not only just the people or a person, a situation of just an individual, but including corruption in government. Somebody would have to be instructing these people with the education of authoritative or intelligible, authoritative background to have these people enforce it. I'm going to explain it one more time. Even in Colorado, it's found out there's people that was certified, went in and had some mental health certification. You can get a minimum of 6-month certification and be able to enforce mental health, a little bit of mental health law. And they're utilizing that loophole even though they're not employed. They got caught doing it in Colorado. They was caught in Tucson, Arizona, and partially caught in New York City. They was partially caught in Florida. When I was down in Florida, situations in Texas, it goes on and on and on. Anyhow, just because you understand the situation doesn't give you the rights to be involved in it. Especially when it's understood you're intentionally targeting him. It's not just like you seen a problem and figured, hey, maybe you'll get involved. You're associated with a group situation. Attacking. It's never ended. I know now that, yes, I'm practically mentally retarded. I have other things that I ain't going to talk about in this video. Basically, where they're threatening implants. There's no paperwork for it. If I go in and talk about the implants, 1 minute it's legal. You better obey what we tell you to do. If you don't, you'll get locked up. We'll mess your case up. It's no different than a murderer going to prison for 30 years and like the DNA test coming out and then setting them free after being in prison for 30 years because they're completely innocent and had somebody coercively force them to make a confession. But anyways, even without whatever it is, or throwing evidence onto somebody or threatening them with force of law enforcement. Anyhow, with that being said, I kind of lost my concentration on what was going on there, but it's with me trying to produce something, you better have background evidence, whatever. I was quoted prices for some investigational electronic jamming, interference, data theft, starting out like between just little itty bitty jobs, $2,000 max, starting out maximum with that company, 20 grand into the things that I'm looking for. You think I have $20,000? Especially with somebody trying to intentionally interfere with my personal affairs, financial and everything else and above. Just like a card reader trying to rip the strip tape or rip and tear the card to being non-usable, and me having to deal with trying to get a new card, if not going through a systematical situation of saying I need a new card, and it may be possible, more than likely not, but them thinking it's possible that me not be able to have that card, not bank, not do what I need to do, or get a check, or get my money. I'm now on SSI, and they're trying to control that. And I was told in New York City, any and everybody trying to mess with financials, complaining, unless they can see that is completely, and then they place the complaint with somebody else. They do not control your financial. The Social Security Administration, if you took it up to the counselors and the agents there and talked about it, they should be able to investigate it. And the people that are, it doesn't matter what it is. Oh, you bought a candy bar on your money, they can be criminally prosecuted. And they was standing grounds out in New York City. Here in Columbus, Ohio, I'm not going to say there isn't any, but there is a situation again of corrupt form working in the system and more or less likely intimidating the people that are correctly working to be influenced with that intimidation that harm could come to them. Financially, physically, doesn't matter. Whatever harm. Any type of duressing them, they'll cause a problem. If they participate, agree, or anything that would help me out or that would just allow me not to be bothered with. There's nothing to do rather than given a problem, well, we're going to create something for you to do, even though it's not consistent by law of what is real and what you have to do. Main point of the video, a targeted act. Financial, possible, how much power does it have behind it financially? And trying to mess with finances. And that's just the bare minimum of messing with finances, but even still, causing a problem. No different than scratching your car, no different than whatever it be. Just something that's actually, if proven, is damaging of property. Which, look on YouTube, a card reader machine. How would you screw somebody's card up? They had them years ago. You could even, I'll even do a razor blade, but there's other, hell, you could use a cardboard box piece. Or stick something inside the machine, as far as like a screwdriver or something, cause it to have scrapes inside, and it'll scrape the card. Being intelligent enough, what it scrapes is the thing, while somebody's making it like intelligible. You think people know this? I didn't have a psychiatrist at a county facility that represents county authority over top a city tell me, yeah, there's intelligence being operated, it's believable. Just so I can have a two-bit prick, authoritative, either cop, law enforcement officer, or even another counselor try to make it out. That's sketchy. If you're investigating me and you've put things together, why haven't you put the whole ordeal together is my question to the people that are utilizing that. It's lawful for them to do. They're doing it actually authoritatively by government, associated law enforcement, not just tactics, but they are active. There is something active. Why haven't you put a damn thing together in over 10 or even 20 years, much less using past case and stuff like that? I understand there may be an excuse for some of it, but I was told directly at a facility that you say 1 minute before they agreed and gave me a side that, hey, we trust them. All of a sudden, I gain their trust. You don't trust them. Bad place. They don't operate right. And being given by word and intelligence and understandings by them, some of the things that are happening is complete misconduction. At which point, that little itty bitty, well, if it was taken care of, cool, sorry. Your sorry doesn't have an ability to feed me back the duress that caused incapacitation that is possibly causing brain damage, which I'm having shit looked into, that like causing PTSD. PTSD can be caused. And then the extremes, psychological trauma. Much less for myself, there's other things going on, brain damage. But anyhow, enforcing that, hey, we'll take your life away. We'll take your freedom, liberties, we'll lock you up. And they've done this even without criminal prosecution of just mental health orchestration of assault. And every place that I've been, they've gotten busted either even being employed and not acting right, misconduct, just like in Florida. Down there, it's a misdemeanor criminal charge, no matter what it is, immediately, of any misconduct that's going on. Plus, internal, systematical of their own system, whatever agency they're working through, internal disciplinary actions. So, different places, different ways things work, and that's what they're trying to apply up here. Hey, everything's a go up here. You can be assaulted, you can be fucking disrespected, everything under the sun. People have a right to control you. If they have a right to deem and interfere with your personal affairs. They have many different ways in all this, and we're going to go with it. What you going to do? There's no protection, and not even only protection. Dominate. If you come in and talk to us, you're going to go away. We're going to make something happen to you. Which, think about it, little tedious things like messing up a card strip reader on a checkout aisle, screwing up cards that need to be utilized to pay bills, get food, or entertainment. You don't have a right to be entertained. You pay your bills and you get something to eat. That's all you have a right to, and we don't even like that. That's how bad the situation is. Anyways, 150 West Sycamore Krogers, Columbus, Ohio. Another incident of sabotage and threat and intimidation. Investigator, a lady that I've seen elsewhere walking by. Matter of fact, she was a manager out of management uniform. That's who that was. Walking by the counter, maybe representing something, like maybe you shouldn't shop here. Why is that? Because you all started trouble. There's a situation, you agitated something, I enacted out even way in the past, and you're trying to profile for a community profile completely fraudulently the way you want things to work. I'm abnormal now, which was explained even by other psychiatrists and street psychiatry and other counselors I've went into and talked to through agencies like homeless networks and stuff like that while I was traveling. Understand the sabotage has caused me to be impaired the way that you're trying to say I'm not allowed to be impaired or else you have to control. That gives us our rights to control you, and that's all the power freak show, and that's what the doctors here said. A toxic and an intimidating, assaultive, threatening, dangerous people and a person, at the least, doing the works that they're doing. Law enforcement, we know you, they've intimidated, we profiling you, and you haven't put nothing else together here is what I'm asking them of anything else of trying to help me out, period. Running a fraudulent system yourself, collecting whatever kind of value that you can. Money, time, and entertainment, enjoyment, respect. Hey, if you the people that are attacking me, letting them know you respect us, we'll help you out. Talk to a doctor that way. That is still, and especially within them being employed by the government, is a form of value that can be prosecutable as a criminal offense when investigated, the evidence built behind it, and the person doing it. It is a crime. It is no different than taking a bribe or anything else. With that being said, I'm ending this video. Peace. Y'all have fun.